timeless voices of the eternal church.
Barnabas. We learn a great deal about Barnabas the first time he was introduced by Dr. Luke in the New Testament. His name was Joseph, a Levite from the island of Cyprus. But the apostles gave him a new name, Barnabas, son of encouragement. His conversion to the gospel of Jesus was so complete that he sold some land that he owned and turned all the money over to the apostles for the needs of the church. Everywhere Barnabas cropped up in the New Testament, we see him speaking on behalf of another. When Saul the tormentor came back to Jerusalem as Saul the transformed and wanted to join the believers, the disciples were afraid and flat out didn't believe him. But Barnabas took Paul in hand, brought him to other disciples, and spoke on Saul's behalf. It's as if he said, "Now look, do you believe Christ can turn a man around or not? At least listen to his story." Barnabas' trust in Saul, who became Paul, paid off. Barnabas and Paul spent a year together teaching the new church in Antioch. Barnabas and Paul were chosen to carry aid from Antioch to the suffering church in Judea. Barnabas and Paul were set apart by laying on of hands for the first missionary journey. Barnabas and Paul, alone among the other apostles, worked at a trade to support themselves. When the church of Antioch sent Barnabas and Paul on their first missionary journey, they took Barnabas' cousin, John Mark. For reasons unknown, Mark abandoned the journey at Perga in Pamphylia, their first stop, but it obviously annoyed Paul, because when Barnabas again wanted to bring his young cousin along on a second missionary journey, Paul would have none of it. Let's listen in on what Paul and Barnabas might have said to each other. "Take Mark? You've got to be kidding, Barnabas. He quit on us the last time." "That was last time, Paul. Let's give him another chance." "No, he let us down. How do we know he won't do it again?" "I know. He made a mistake, but he is very eager to redeem himself. Mark has a lot of potential, but he needs mentoring. He would learn so much by coming with us." "Just because he's your cousin, Barnabas?" "It's not just because he's my cousin. I see good qualities in Mark. If they could be developed, please let him come with us. He could be great help." No, we can't risk it. We need someone we can count on, and that's final." "I'm sorry you feel that way, Paul, because I feel responsible for him. This is a critical point in Mark's life. If I stick close to him, I believe he will do great things for the church." "What are you saying? That you won't go with me unless I take Mark too?" "Paul, maybe that would be best. We could cover twice as much territory if we make 2 missionary teams. Silas, he'd be a good choice." "I can't believe this. You have too much faith in that boy, Barnabas." "Too much? Did I have too much faith in you, Paul? Taking a chance when the others didn't want to?" That was different." "Different, Paul?" The rift between Barnabas and Paul must have mended over the years, because Paul mentioned him later in his first letter to the Corinthians as a close fellow worker. Ever concerned for his own people, Barnabas returned to Cyprus to encourage the budding church there. And like Paul, Barnabas paid the ultimate price for his faith. A mob killed him, even without the presence of a trial.
Reading from the complete book of Christian heroes, over 200 stories of courageous people who suffered for Jesus, compiled by Dave and Neta Jackson. This is the Eternal Church of Jesus Christ, the record.